Hello. In my last video, I spoke about a sort of new middle class values, what has been called luxury values. It was a guidance paper supposed to show you're an ally with the trans community if you happen to be an NHS worker, and more or less gave you carte blanche to take offence at anything any of the patients said if they don't shut up and follow your instructions and accept you exactly the way you are. When I was a student, I was sharing digs with a girl who was studying medicine, and when they started, they were being taken round wards and they were told, dress in a conservative, quiet way so as not to alarm the patients, to give the patients confidence. Now, if you're a great airy fella and turn up on the ward wearing a miniskirt, the patients are supposed to keep quiet and accept your ministrations, because if you don't, the NHS are likely to deny you treatment. That's the way it's being put in that guidance paper. Although another spokesman said, oh, no, this is only guidance, it's not a rule. Yeah, like we all believe that, don't we? Okay, before I carry on with this article here, I'm a middle class shoplifter. Not me, that is, the person there. I shall tell you that I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I'm also on Twitter and Gab. That's where I let you know when I've uploaded a video, in case particularly YouTube don't tell you. Please like this video. Please share it. Please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, check you're still subscribed. And you can buy me a coffee if you want. There are a couple of links to donation sites. All the links to everything I've spoken about are in the description, except for the like button, which should be just underneath the video. Okay, right, and this is the article. I'm a middle-class shoplifter and I blame today's infuriating supermarkets. Now, this woman is obviously articulate, but you see right from the start, she's saying I'm a middle-class shoplifter. That is, I'm unusual because we middle classes, we don't shoplift. That's what the unwashed rabble do. She's already making assumptions and classing herself above people. You know, I do what the rabble do, but I'm middle class. Actually, much of the rabble is more honest than the middle class in my experience. Anyway, she blames everyone else but herself. Its self-service checkouts and scanning devices have made it all too easy, and the cost of living adds to the mix. Okay, so it's not your fault. It's not your lack of morals, oh faceless lady. It is, well, I'm assuming this is a woman, by the way. The illustration shows a woman. It could be a man, I suppose. But anyway, self-service checkouts and scanning devices have made it easy, so I'm going to do it. Okay, and let's get on. I'm old enough to remember when self-service checkouts arrived in supermarkets, and my initial disgruntlement has not disappeared. Oh, so she's quite annoyed with us. She's using it though, isn't she? In fact, it's turned into a semi-regular battle to see what I can get away with. Literally, I'm a casual shoplifter. Okay, so the supermarkets are doing something she doesn't like, so what she's doing is stealing from them, and that's all right. It's so all right, she actually wrote an article about it. Obviously, her name is kept off the newspaper, but yeah. Let's carry on. The news earlier this week that M&S now puts one steak on display to deter thievery is not entirely surprising. It wasn't long ago that a rival supermarket introduced security tags on its larger packs of Lurpak butter, while impenetrable black plastic caps on bottles of booze are a familiar sight. That doesn't deter me. Right. Yeah, she's cleverer than that. Like any criminal, she thinks she's cleverer and superior to the people she's scamming, conning, stealing from, or whatever, and the police or the law authorities. We're going to get to that towards the end of the article. I don't see myself as a career criminal. Well, darling, you are. But your sense of morality is so skewed, you can't see that. Looking to con big business out of big money. No, she's not conning big business out of big money, because big business will just put the prices up when to cover the losses. And then that little old lady who's wondering whether she can afford a tin of sardines this week, she's the one who's going to suffer. But you're too clever to think of things like that, aren't you? I just pick and choose the odd item without paying as a... So it's not dishonesty. It's a quid pro quo for price hikes. And what's responsible for the price hikes, I wonder? Perhaps you should ask yourself. For price hikes, useless technology, and the endless draining away of anything resembling service. Oh, the endless draining away of anything resembling honesty as well, in your case. It started back before you could beep and pack as you go, scanning at checkout onto weighted services. I had loose escallion shallots. Oh, how very posh. But couldn't find them on the screen. Oh, so you're tech illiterate as well. So put them through as brown onions. Easy and cheaper. Right, okay. And immoral. Because, as we note in the rest of this, it was a slippery slope. It's not just me, and it's not just that technique, of course. Shoplifting rose by 22% in England and Wales in the year to September, according to the Office for National Statistics, with many people doing it for the first time because of the cost of living crisis. Now, I can imagine that there are some people financially pressed who would do this because of the cost of living crisis out of desperation, but not you, and possibly not your ilk. I don't think you're that bothered about the cost of living crisis. You may justify yourself that way, but it seems to me that you're probably all right, and you don't have to have the shallots if things are a bit tight. You can have the onions. There are many times when I don't have shallots in. In fact, I don't remember the last time I had shallots in. When I see recipes for shallots, I put some onion in. May not be exactly the same, may not impress your posh friends. And I think that's what you're most worried about. Not the price of shallots, but impressing your posh friends. Now, let's see what else is on my list here. Now, I have the apps and use my phone or an in-store scanning device. It's hard to resist. It's only hard to resist if you think everybody else owes you. I buy things like mint tea in bulk, so I'll scan one box and put 5 in my bag, clicking 4 in trolley. And then she says, it's not an idle suburban mum gets her kicks from crime. Oh, darling, I hate to break this to you, but yes, it is. You can justify it any way you want. This is just getting your kicks. Because what drives me is what we all have to contend with. At the supermarket closest to my dad's home, half the store has no signal, so I'll be scanning stuff on my phone when I go out of range somewhere around the Yorkshire tea bags, and it doesn't come back until the other side of the loo roll aisle. I'll put stuff at the top of the trolley to zap, but it's easy to forget or miscalculate. Yeah, all right. You can forget or miscalculate. I've done that. I've gone through several items and then realised I hadn't scanned one of them, I'd forgotten. And then I've gone back and taken stuff out of my trolley and re-scanned everything. Because I'm honest. Because I don't want to steal from the shop. Because stealing from the shop is stealing from all the other shoppers around me as well. And I don't want to do that. Of course, food shopping is not a free for you. Whether a cheeky freebie, no, it's not a cheeky freebie, it's theft. Or a genuine error. Yeah, genuine errors happen. Anyone doing this runs the risk of getting stopped by a security guard or being called aside for a dreaded rescan. I don't know why, I keep getting rescans all the time. I must look very suspicious. This happened to me once in one of the smarter supermarkets, and the rescanning device failed, and I had to get every single item back out of the bags and start from scratch. Another 30 minutes of my life I won't get back. Oh yeah. The fact is, you're in a supermarket where you have the sort of food and the range of food that was undreamt of even a generation back. And occasionally there are glitches, and this infuriates you. But it doesn't really, does it? 30 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. Sounds to me like your life is particularly without incident. Regard it as another piece of excitement. But you've got to find something wrong to justify your dishonesty, haven't you? And then here. I do worry. Imagine how publicly embarrassing it would be to be caught and for all your neighbours to find out. It's not the dishonesty, not the stealing from your fellow shoppers, not that, just if you get found out, that's bad. That's very embarrassing. The absolute epitome of hypocrisy, as well as dishonesty, but then of course hypocrites are dishonest, aren't they? But here's the thing, a couple of months ago I did the big shop in a medium-sized town centre supermarket using a self-scan device. It came to £170 and I diligently went through the on-screen hoops at the end. I drove home, unpacked my bags, then realised I hadn't actually done the last bit of the process. So she'd gone through the whole thing and then forgotten to click the pay button. I went back to the store, what a saint, and tracked down an assistant to explain. Happens all the time, he said with a world-weary look, giving the distinct impression that the store doesn't pursue it very often. Well, maybe he was bored and harassed, but that's neither here nor there, is it? That must be doubly depressing for a diminished workforce. Oh yes, she's so sorry for the workforce, isn't she? The one she's stealing from when she steals that bag of scallions. What else do I have in my notes? Yeah, and there's something else which I thought of. She went back not because she was being honest about it, but because she was worried there was videos in store and somebody saw that she hadn't paid. That's a possibility as well, isn't it? I don't think for a minute that she thought she should go back simply because she was being honest. She's obviously demonstrated that her bar for honesty is so low a mouse would have to crawl over it. Okay, well, the fact that I fessed up and paid has made me think I'm allowed to carry on pilfering for a while yet. You're not allowed to do something like that. You're a thief. I hope you get caught soon. I hope you get really embarrassed in front of your precious neighbours, because you're stealing from me. Right, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.